Now, before I begin this video, I want to mention that I'm making an exclusive limited seat course about life here in Estonia. It will be a 4-week course. We will talk about everything that you need to know about work, business, making money, relationships, and all the other questions that you might have. It's a very limited seat course that I'm opening very soon. And if you want to be a part of it, then you can click on the link down in the description, add your email, and I will let you know when the registration opens. Now, onwards to the video. Why would I make friends at a grocery store? What in the world has happened to me that I am resorting to making friends at a grocery store? What are you talking about? Okay, so welcome to the second episode of Making Friends in Estonia / Making Friends Abroad. In this episode, I will teach you how to make friends in a grocery store. This is quite weird. I understand how this sounds. Grocery store is the last place that you would want to make friends, but trust me, it makes a lot of sense. Two things. So firstly, let me explain the situation. Number one, you are a foreigner who has moved abroad. You don't have any friends, you don't have any family, you don't have any acquaintances, right? So that is the situation. Number two, you are also an introvert, right? So if you are an introvert and you don't like going to parties or hangouts or all these things, then you are really at disadvantage, right? So what do? How do you make friends? Because you need to make friends. You need to have a social circle. That is exactly the reason why I started a series of videos in which I will talk about making friends in places where you are supposed to be. A grocery store is not specifically a place to make friends, but it is definitely a place that you will spend majority of your time when you are abroad. I mean, unless you are ordering your groceries 100% of the time at your home, your neighborhood grocery store will be the place that you will go the most. It will be the place that your whole neighborhood will also go to the same grocery store, right? It will be the place where you will see same familiar faces that are usually there. It will be the place where you will also see the same familiar cashiers, people who are working the counters. It will be also the place where you will be able to practice your language, your Estonian, the easiest. I mean, grocery stores are the place where you can learn the most Estonian because you're reading everything, all the labels in Estonian, and that you're trying to understand them. You will also be, if you need help, then you will definitely need to speak Estonian because majority of the people will probably not understand English. So that is my pretext for talking about why you should make an effort to make friends at a grocery store. Now, I don't really mean that you go out of your way and bother people at a grocery store, but just be more open wherever you are. Now, why grocery stores? I mean, what is special about that place? Now, firstly, it is a pleasant environment. There is food, there is people, it's warm, right? And that is an environment with music as well. So you often see that people are hanging around, looking at the things, trying to make their best judgment on what they want to buy, right? So that is the environment where it is pleasant and easier. I mean, sometimes people are in a rush, but sometimes people are not in a rush. So people are there. Secondly, as I mentioned before as well, it is a very frequently visited place. You will see a lot of people just moving about, people from your neighborhood, actually, maybe your neighbors, people that you know, or people that you have seen through face many times, and that it is not unusual that you see an acquaintance or friend just walk inside there. So what kind of people are there? Now, in order for our classification, there are 3 major types of people who you will see at your normal neighborhood grocery store. Number 1 will be the regulars. These will be the people who are in your neighborhood who frequently visit the store, and these will be the people that you will often see are starting to remember your face because you will come across them quite often because for them you are a neighbor and for you they are also your neighbors. So these are the regulars. Number 2, the locals, like for example from the same city, who are just visiting, who are just in this neighborhood just for a visit, and they are usually getting here maybe because they're at a party or on the weekend they are visiting somebody and they want to quickly buy something. These will be more like strangers to you. Number 3 are foreigners or tourists, and you will immediately recognize them. Now, how do we interact with people in an environment where it is considered quite unusual to talk to other people? Now, the best way before you reach the queue for the cashier is to either ask for help or give help. firstly, if you are in a difficult situation, if you can't find something, if you are looking for something and you really can't find something and you're in genuine need for help, then there is nothing wrong with just going up to somebody and then asking them for help. Despite the cold reputation of Estonians, they are extremely helpful and they will help you no matter what. I haven't had any single instance where I asked somebody for help and they actually didn't walk me to the place where I actually needed that thing. So that is the first thing. Now, the second part of that is if you are frequently visiting a store, then you might often find people who are a little bit struggling or who are struggling to find something. You will immediately know if you have been in the similar situation, and it is not rude or unusual to go up to them and ask, say, okay, do you need any help? Are you looking for this specific item? Even though you are not really an employee of the store, but it's always good to see if you genuinely see somebody struggling, and then you can go and offer them your help. And that is an excellent icebreaker. That is a great way actually to say hello and to meet other people. Now, it is also important to mention that just because you're offering help doesn't mean that the other person will be taking it. People are different, people have different needs, and sometimes they are just interested in just roaming around and maybe struggling for themselves as well. So if you offer somebody help and they don't take it, then there is no need to feel offended. Perfectly fine, and it is perfectly normal. So now that you have gathered all of your things, you're at the cashier's queue. Now, a queue is a place where people are in close proximity, right? I don't think people are in that close proximity anywhere else in Estonia, probably outside of a public transport. Even in public transport, people are still in not that close proximity when they are in a queue in a grocery store. One of the things that you can do when you are in a queue is to actually notice what other people have bought. Now, sometimes this might give some really interesting results. For example, let me tell you a story. So I was in a queue and behind me was probably a lady, and she had this whole, like a dozen of those small packets that babies eat. These are like little pouches with like food or candy. I think it's food inside of them that are specifically for young children and babies. Now, she had just like half a dozen of them, and I was like just handing my food. I was putting my groceries together and I saw it, and I just said to her that the kids or the babies are having a party, and she immediately understood and she smiled on what she bought. So I mean, it's things like these, there's small things like these that you notice and that make you, you know, like greet other people and then break ice with them. It's just all about observation and a lot of attention. Now, even if you are very, very shy, even if you don't want to meet other people, even if you can't bear yourself to say hello to any other person, you will always have interaction with the cashier. Now, one of the frequent complaints that I often hear in Estonia from people is that the cashiers don't smile, say hello, or say goodbye, or any other greeting, which is quite normal here in Estonia. But if you are visiting a store for 5-6 years and the same cashiers are working, then you will start to like have a bond or a smile, and even that is more than enough. People will sometimes go out of their way to help you, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to say something to you or you have to say something to them, but it is a bond that will eventually happen anyway. Now, one of the things that I have done previously is that for the cashiers in a grocery store, because I see them so often, so much more, that before Christmas I actually wrote Christmas cards and I actually gave it to them before Christmas. I mean, I didn't make a fuss about it. I just, when I was leaving the grocery store and I was paying just before Christmas, I would just give them these cards, and actually it would just make their day. So to summarize, in order to make friends, in order to create a social circle, a real social circle, not just online, you have to go out of your way, pay more attention to other people, to be more interested in other people. That's how you actually become more interesting to other people as well. I will continue this series about making friends in Estonia/abroad, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you for watching the video. I wish you all the best about making friends. It is a very, very rewarding experience because you will eventually realize that people are the most important aspect of life that you can have. More than money, more than fame, more than anything else. It's genuine connection with people that will make you feel the best at the end of your life. All right, take care. Bye-bye.